coming at you with another slow fashion video. Today I'd like to share winter essentials that never go out of style. As someone who has lived in, I think it's one of the coldest capitals in the world for most of my life, I've been able to accumulate some pretty solid winter essentials that I reach for year after year to keep me warm and stylish. However, I have to put in a disclaimer that I'm not talking about those days where it's like -35 and you have to wait at a bus stop for half an hour. On those days, all I care about is not losing limbs from frostbite. I prioritize how I look a lot less. But the good thing about these winter essentials is that not only can they work for those freezing cold days, but also just regular winter temperatures, but is that most of you probably already have them in your closet. If you are looking, however, to fill a gap in your winter wardrobe essentials, then now is the perfect time to introduce you to today's video sponsor, Organic Basics. I've partnered with Organic Basics before because I really love their selection of ethically made classic essential pieces. Some of the items that you'll see in today's video are previous Organic Basic pieces that I've owned for several years, which is another reason why I really enjoy working with them. There isn't that sense of urgency by offering new trendy product every season. So to me, this is a huge part of having a slow fashion philosophy. But what I also especially appreciate is their transparency around ethical manufacturing and their newest initiative around regenerative farming in Turkey, which is so important for not just, depleting the Earth's resources for our consumption, but actually looking at replenishing our resources so that we can consume fashion in a more conscious way. And if you are interested, I have a discount code for you, and I will leave it in the description box below, along with a link to Organic Basics website so that you can find out more about their conscious practices. So with that being said, let's jump on in. A classic lightweight turtleneck that fits close to the body is so useful for layering underneath chunkier sweaters, cardigans, shirts, but what is most important is that this is actually the key layer that will keep you the warmest. I think there's a big misconception that those big, oversized, chunky sweaters are what everyone needs to wear to stay warm, and this is true, they definitely are cozy, but it's that first layer that you have close to your body that is going to keep the heat close to you and trap it in. But what I especially love is making sure that it's got an interesting neckline. So this Tencel mock neck turtleneck from Organic Basics is something that I've been wearing for the past year now, and I really do like wearing it as one of my base layers because even if you can't really see it, you still see a little bit of a collar underneath other sweaters and shirts. So it adds warmth, but it's also adding that nice layered dimension without too much bulk. My Organic Basics turtleneck is made out of 95% Tencel. What's more important with Tencel versus other cellulose-based fibers is that Tencel's process of manufacturing is a lot less harmful on the environment. So I love that it's a very soft, lightweight fabric. I do find that this one in particular isn't very sheer, but I would recommend wearing a seamless bra underneath. The size that I'm wearing is a medium, and I've chosen this very bright white. It is definitely on the cooler end of the color spectrum, which I personally like in the winter because it seems to just brighten up whatever outfit I'm wearing. Continuing with the base layer, tights are definitely in high rotation, for me at least, from November all the way to April. I think these are a winter essential because they are a great little extra layer of warmth without having to feel too bulky or having some like crazy robust thermals underneath your jeans, which on those really cold days are very important. In this particular case, I was really excited to actually try something new from Organic Basics because they've come out with some recycled tights. They use 55% recycled nylon, and any chance I have to test out something that is made out of a recycled fiber, I take it, because the idea of reusing what's already out there is really appealing to me. So for these tights in particular, I found the fit was great. I chose a small. It comes up quite high. However, I don't think it's intended to be a control top. It definitely doesn't have that kind of seersucker feeling, so I find these to be very comfortable. I chose an opaque pair if I am wearing a skirt or a pair of shorts in the colder months, that the opaqueness balances out better with heavier and chunkier knits. As we move out to our next layers, I think a tailored wool pant is really essential in the winter. And as for the fit and the shape, I prefer something with a tapered ankle that comes off the ground and above the heel of whatever boot or footwear you're wearing. You don't want a long, wide pant hem to be dragging along in the slush and snow and ruining your pant or dragging that around wherever you go. It's just not very stylish. So I definitely would recommend a fully lined wool pant if you can find one. I think vintage is probably the best option if you're going to look for something fully lined and 100% wool. I know I knocked chunky knit sweaters a little while ago, but I really do think they play an essential part of your winter wardrobe. They make the perfect chic final layer to finish off a look. I think especially if you can pick one up in neutral colors that will suit the rest of your wardrobe or integrate well with it, then you can really pull them out season after season. However, I also think it's nice to have perhaps one or two in an interesting color to brighten up your winter wardrobe, and finding them in a nice classic silhouette like a crew or a turtleneck can really be the perfect go-to for your winter essentials. And Organic Basics actually does have a line of knitwear. They use a lot of recycled cashmere, which is very cool. Most of what people see of us during the winter months is what we're wearing outside. So a beautiful wool overcoat, in my opinion, is another essential. In all honesty, I have found all of my best wool overcoats at vintage or thrift stores. I've actually done a video on how I choose my outerwear, and it also extends into like the parka -35 territory if you're interested. So I will link that up here for you. But in this case, I think if you want one winter coat for the whole season, definitely choose a neutral color that works with whatever your winter accessories are, and I'll get to those in just a minute. But finding it in a nice classic cut, whether it's a double or single breasted with a very simple and classic lapel detail. If you wear more skirts and dresses, I would definitely recommend looking for a longer hem length. I think this looks a little bit more polished and put together. A solid pair of winter boots that are comfortable, waterproof, warm, and stylish can sound like a really tall order, but there are definitely more styles like this becoming available. I think people are wanting more sensible footwear for their lifestyles, so what I tend to look for in a really good winter boot is a nice thick rubber sole. I like it when it is high off the ground because it means my foot is staying higher off the ground away from the cold and the snow, so I think it does keep me a little bit warmer. I also think an essential winter boot should be lined all the way down to the toe, as well as in the sole having something a little bit warm and fuzzy. And that waterproof aspect is also key. Because a good winter boot is more of an expensive investment, I try to get it in a color that I know will match my winter accessories, so my hats and gloves and things like that. A winter hat obviously seems like a very basic and not groundbreaking essential, but honestly, even if you're not wearing a full like toque that covers your ears, just having your head covered can make a huge difference. This is where all the heat escapes from your head. I'm sure, like, my mom can't be the only Italian mom that was like, you must wear a hat, especially when your hair is wet. I mean, heaven forbid. Anyway, if you're in a warmer climate, then something like a fedora with a nice wide brim to fend off the elements is perfect, but I also think it's important to have something that does cover your ears in a nice cozy knit. Organic Basics also has these great recycled cashmere toques and matching scarves and gloves, so I really just like a sleek, simple toque, and both of these types of hats will finish off a look beautifully. I think a handbag that matches the robustness of your winter outerwear and even your winter outfits can make all the difference in feeling more functional and also more put together. I tend to choose a tote or my convertible backpack. Their weight matches the garments that I'm wearing, but also they are so handy when I go in and out of stores to have enough room to put my toque and my mitts and things like that in them, and that they can be right at the top of hand when I need them to go back outside. Much like the hat, those little extras like a scarf and gloves are so important even if you're making just a short trip outside. They can keep you nice and warm, but also they can really pull together your winter look without having to try too hard, especially if you're able to match them with just one other element in your outerwear ensemble. Finally, and perhaps surprisingly for some, a pair of sunglasses are an absolute winter essential. When you are facing the glare of crazy white snow all the time in your face, you know, your eyes get tired. So sunglasses are just as essential this time of year as in the summer months. So that is what I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and a big thank you to Organic Basics again for sponsoring this video. I will leave that discount code for you in the description box below. And I also wanted to say that this month, because I do feel really grateful to be able to work with brands and continue to work throughout the pandemic, I will be donating 5% of all of my sponsored video income this month to the Clean Clothes Campaign, which is an organization that supports and empowers garment workers to fight for living and fair wages and working conditions. And garment workers have been so severely impacted by COVID, and this is a global organization which I think affects all of us. So I really appreciate you watching. Let me know in the comments below if you liked this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Hit subscribe if you haven't already, and I will be back with another slow fashion video. Thank you so much for watching again. Ciao!